Hey guys, just thought I'd give a quick update on my kind of progress with the SUP slash downwind board. So for background, I have never SUP'd ever in my life, so very little experience with a paddle, or been on a board this big. So my daily driver at 68 kilos, or around like 150 pounds, is a 4.6, 4.6 36 liter, or I guess it's a 4.5 36 liter prone board. And I actually today went out it was high tide, but it was lowering. So I did bring my prone board with, as well as a Silk 850 and an Enduro 900. And honestly, I was planning on getting on this stuff once the tide got lower. Because over here today, I decided to, actually this is my second or third day, I think, with this wing, but I put on my Enduro 1300, which is enormous for my weight. And I kind of thought was more of like a dock start wing for me, to be honest, or maybe trying to learn how to do like a flat water paddle up. But I saw a video of James Casey on a 1300 with a long fuse, and just having a blast in small waves. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna try that 1300 out. And honestly, today was by far my most successful day and most fun day in the surf. And I never even went to my prone board. So the tide got all the way to dead low, and I was able to, I think I caught, my Garmin clocked me at like 17 waves or so. And yeah, I mean, even when the tide dropped really low, I was just paddling in super far on the shoulder, and the 1300 could get up in almost nothing. So I was able to stay away from the power source. Really nice, kind of chill, I guess, paddle ups on the shoulder. Nothing was too, not too much lift, didn't get bucked off or anything. But anyways, yeah, I thought I'd share a few of the tips for me. So if anyone that's coming from a background of having zero background in SUP or downwind, I feel like after today, I honestly think I might be ready to actually go and try a downwinder for my first time, obviously with support in a safe environment. But I feel like I really kind of cracked some kind of code in this beginner phase anyways. So here's what I changed. So first off, before I had my mast all the way up front because I felt like it just created more stability for me. And then once up, it just had less swing weight, particularly in the front. But I noticed that I was kind of getting bucked off a lot on the waves. It was just like a violent kind of getting onto foil. And then that was with an 1100 pure. So I actually increased the size of the foil, which seems counterintuitive when you're getting bucked off. But then slid the mast back on this. So this is a KT Dragonfly Crossing 112 liter. It's 8.2 by about, I think, 18 wide. And I put it pretty much right in the middle. So it's like just right here, kind of the front of the mast is at 25. So just to kind of see, might be slightly further back than forward, but anyways, had a lot of success with this mast spot. And it also helped me kind of, what I'm trying to do is look at the very front leading edge of the mast and then match it up with a particular spot on my traction pad, just to get an idea of where my back foot should sit. And I've noticed that I've had more success when my back foot is kind of, if you think about the other side of the board, roughly right here on the leading edge. So it's kind of just barely on it, not too far back. And that helps me when I'm paddling into waves to have a lot of weight forward. And I feel like that lets me get into the wave, kind of start to glide down it. And the big thing that I did different today and yesterday was with a second that I feel like I'm matching the speed of the wave, I stop paddling altogether. And then I just kind of get in a comfortable, well-balanced position and just do like a light little pump. And it's super mellow, maybe one or two, and just lean back slightly. Because I noticed, I'm not an experienced paddler. And when I'm paddling and trying to kind of bounce up, that's where I would lose my balance and just fall off on this board. So I'm having way more, I'd say like 80% success rate today in paddling into waves just by doing that, where before when I was paddling with my paddle also, maybe 20%. So huge change. And yeah, I mean, overall, like also, I guess before on the pier, there's two mounting spots and it's a monoblock fuse. So the fuse lodge here is connected to the front wing. I had it on the shorter spot. I think I had even a smaller stabilizer. So anyways, biggest stabilizer, longest fuse, furthest mounting spot, biggest wing, And that was all I needed. And I guess what I've been needing is just more stability. And that's kind of what I got out of this setup today. And I thought this thing would have zero chance at turning, at, being 68 kilos. But I was actually able to have like full cutbacks. I mean, they're big, don't get me wrong, big and slow cutbacks, but big cutbacks over, almost kind of like a, whatever you could call like a roundhouse on a setup this big. And then towards the end of the wave, kicking out, and actually today I had, I think, 3 or 4 connections to other waves. One of them was even a 3-for-1, and I could have kept going, but the waves just kind of died out. So I think for anyone that's thinking about getting into downwind or SUP, like, you don't obviously need this exact setup or the exact brand AFS, but go big, go stable, and try that out if it's not working for you. I think I was trying to progress too fast and said, okay, I want a shorter fuse, I want my mast all the way in the front, I want a smaller front wing. But to build that confidence, I just go big. And I mean, I forgot the name of the video, but yeah, look at like maybe James Casey, fun, big wing, fun and small waves. That's what kind of inspired me to try out this setup. So thanks, James. That was awesome. But yeah, so anyone that's interested in trying this stuff out, I mean, again, AFS Enduro 1300 up here in the front. Really like this wing. Honestly, I have it in a 700 and 900, but the 1300 surprised me the most, because even today I was able to get into some much bigger sets and handle some amazing speed without feeling like I was gonna get bucked off. Like, this thing just handles speed so well. One downside of it is it's a fragile wing, and I live in an area that doesn't have a sandy bottom. So like, I'm getting scratches all over it, which obviously are normal, but even the kind of the profile in the front, like, I'm gonna have to sand this down a lot, and the tips are super fragile and they're sharp. So yeah, if you are someone that doesn't want a fragile or sharp wing, probably avoid the Enduro, or at least sand it down. And then I'm running the HA Silk. I think it's the biggest one, the 43, I believe. Where are we? Yeah, the 43. And I think the next thing I want to try is keep the whole setup the same, but swap this out for my 38 and just see how, kind of what happens. And because I think it'd be fun to try to get this to turn a little bit better. For anyone that's doing this for their first time, I am a huge fan of these Conrad bolts. I mean, I'm not the first person to talk about them. They're awesome, but they're just super easy to change in the water. I could just loosen it, move everything around. You retighten it. And what's cool is if it's not lined up, you just lift it up, and it has a little mechanism to make sure that you're not going to get drag. So you can see right here, now it's kind of not lined up. Again, lift up, and we're golden. So yeah, I think this was an amazing breakthrough for me today, and I'm honestly kind of stoked for summer to hit and for my break to get crowded, so I can just paddle in way far out on the shoulder and get into any wave I want, not have to be in a critical spot like I am on my small prone board. So anyways, I think over the next month or two, I'm going to just focus on riding big wings and try to dial in my pumping a bit more, and whenever we get a big swell, I'll obviously hop back on my prone board and enjoy my Silk 650 or 850, which are my favorite wings of all time. But in the meantime, this thing is awesome. So if you have any questions, just shoot a comment, and yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.